morning. It is Monday morning. Gosh, I don't know. The 21st, 22nd. I don't know. Anyway, a theme from the weekend. Yesterday, I did a kind of an impromptu seminar with Mel's team. I want to, and forgive me for not knowing this, I think it's A-Team Powerlifting. She has a team of lifters, and they had competed this past Saturday, and met at a buddy of mine's gym, Matt Bowe's gym, and I kind of just spoke to them a couple of hours about some of the ins and outs of competing and training and mindset and things like that. And I think they did something. Mel posted on Instagram Live or TV. I'm not really sure. I can look into that. But what sparked this video log is I was talking to one of the Team Ogre members this morning, having a little difficulty when she didn't think she should with her training this morning, and then alluded to things in her emails talking about her training this morning, where she was a little tired, a little fatigued, and had some anxiety, over something, personal. And so that kind of sparked with the conversation she and I had. For me, and I gave her this example, early on in my career when I was competing, late 90s into the mid 2000s, the gym, because of what was going on in my life around me, was very much sanctuary. That doesn't mean that it didn't come, without any challenges ever, but I was always motivated to be, in the gym on time, make sure that I was there for my training partners, and it was something that I took extremely serious. And through some really dark moments in my life, the gym, was a constant and allowed me to be consistent at something, and it was something that it was easy, like low-lying fruit, so to speak, to pick to keep me positive when things around me were really difficult. And so I was trying to give that, give that kind of example this morning to Joe, and how we can not let outside influences, that our gym time, regardless of whether you're a world champion or a world record holder or someone that just really is looking for self-improvement, I think for a lot of us, when we get into this, it's a therapeutic thing. It allows me to blow off steam, and it allows me to invest in myself and push myself, and it makes me a much more tolerable person to be around when I'm not in the gym. And I think that's the way it is for a lot of people. It helps alleviate stress and kind of quells some anxiety that we have when we're outside of the gym. And she alluded to that as well. And I was scrolling through some stuff on social media, and one of the questions that came up, I'll come back to that came up yesterday in the Q&A of this impromptu seminar, was how do you overcome fear? And we were fortunate enough, it's been maybe a year ago, SBD came to the gym. They were doing a piece on Jennifer, and they interviewed me briefly, and one of the things, they did this particular clip, and one of the things that I talk about is when we face things that are scary and fearful, it really drives our thought process and our decision-making process. And so the question was yesterday, how do we overcome fear? And my conversation with Joe this morning, made me remember that particular video clip. And I think, a lot of people look to Jennifer or Melissa or some of the people that lived on the team, maybe even myself, where it's like, you make it look so easy, you never seem to be nervous or afraid. And I will tell you, without a doubt, without fail, there's always anxiety and nervousness and fear. There always is. And so when someone asks me, how do you overcome the fear? I'm not so sure that you overcome it. And the thing that I said in that clip is you learn to embrace it. You learn to allow it to energize you. Because, you know, for Jennifer, squatting over 400 pounds, it's something she wants to do, but it's still pretty scary. You know, she's done things that nobody in the world have ever done. And she's competing against people that have the capacity to do the same thing. And so there's a mindset that what you're going to do is, I may be afraid, which means I don't know that you really overcome the fear, but you embrace it and you do whatever the endeavor is, you do it anyway. You create the mindset that no matter what, I am going to do this, and that's the end of it. It does not matter. End of report, I am doing this, and the chips fall where they may. You know, I'm not suggesting that you be, you know, reckless, you know, but doing some of the things that we do daily, you know, hell, driving in downtown Nashville traffic in rush hour is pretty scary, but I have to do it. If I'm going to work downtown, which I do, I have to overcome my anxiety or my anger or whatever the case may be and get my big ass to work. And so when you look at it like that, like if you put it on paper or you verbalize it, you learn that while it is fearful, it's not nearly the monstrous event that you think it is. When I did equipped USA Powerlifting Equipped Nationals, I'll be honest, I was really nervous. But I wanted to win a Nationals in USA Powerlifting. I had never competed in an Equipped Nationals in USA Powerlifting, and you know, and I've been fortunate enough to do some really cool stuff in my career, and to add this title, you know, to what I've done really meant a great deal to me. And I won't ever forget this. I remember bumping into Elliot Feldman, and he and I had spoke online the week before, you know, that, hey, I'm pretty nervous about this, you know, I know I'm getting at that point in my career where, you know, how long am I going to be able to keep doing this, even at a level to be competitive in my age bracket? You know, and then I have responsibilities and on, but that's a different conversation. And I remember him bumping into me during warm-ups, and he grabs my shoulders and he said, "You've been waiting for this for 20 years, now go out and get it." He never said, "Hey, get over it," or "suck it up," or "don't be afraid." He said, "Go out there and get it." My fear, my nervousness, my anxiety didn't go away, but my drive, my want to do it allowed me that I can embrace that and create a positive. Now, that sounds like a simple process, and it is, but it is not easy. And it requires a certain amount of practice, and that's why training becomes so crucial and so vital, because you do things in training that are scary, or that you're anxious about, and it creates a mindset, it creates a practice. Being successful is a choice. It is a practice. And that's one of the things where I have lifters, you can see that when a lift gets extremely difficult, there's kind of that quit spot, and you'll see them shut it down. And the thing is that's where the whole, you know, never tell me what you won't do, show me that you can. I've never got an issue with someone failing a lift. What I have issue with is when they quit. You know, if you give me 100% and you do your very best, and the lift doesn't go your way, then we will evaluate, we will train, we will work on whatever the flaw in your technique or your strength is, and take a weak point and bring that up to par where you become successful. I'll use Corey. I'll call her out, so to speak. I asked her to do 3 sets of 2 pause this morning with her all-time bench PR. And all she could think about was, this is my all-time bench PR. As a coach, and the thing that I was trying to convey to her and communicate with her, all the training numbers indicate that you can do this. And the first 2 sets, her first rep would look pretty good, and the second rep, she would lose it. And she did that the first 2 sets. So I tried to talk her through. It's like, hey, you're changing. You're thinking about the number. And all I need you to think about is not how it feels, but making sure that you're executing your form. Execute the form. Treat it no differently than anything that you're really confident in. She comes back the last set. She hits a really good first rep. Second rep pushed her, which was the whole point of the training anyway. And she hits a double with her all-time PR. And again, if your coach is worth his salt or her salt, when they're telling you, when the numbers, because here's the thing, I learned this from Rich Peters. He used to say this all the time. I'm sure he still does. Facts do not lie. And if all of your numbers indicate that there's a PR, there's a PR there. And if you're not hitting that PR, it's not a strength issue. It's an execution issue. And I'm going to tell you, a majority of the time, it's because you're fearful. If you're surrounded by people that you trust, then you can go balls out. And if you miss, you miss. You know, that's my whole point. The chips fall where they may. But if you have a coach and you have a training team, then you're going to get the appropriate feedback where you can become successful. But the only way to do that is embrace the fear, embrace the anxiety. Don't get over it, use it. And it'll allow you to create an avenue that is going to allow you to be successful. Most of you are like me. You have a lot invested in this. I understand you don't have a gym like I do. I don't suggest that for anybody. But many of you that, like, for instance, train at home, you have a power rack, you have a bar, you have a few bars, a trap bar, or whatever the case may be. You have dumbbells. You know, you've gone out and you've bought these things and made an investment. And for some of you, it's very significant. And so why would we go through all that and not continue investing in ourselves and pushing ourselves, regardless of age, regardless of ability, because everybody has their grand. For me, it was actually, literally squatting 1,000 pounds. For some of you, it's just doing your all-time best. And isn't that what this is really all about? I will spend the energy with a lifter that wants to do it. What their ability is, what their capacity is, isn't relevant as long as they are doing their absolute best to be the best that they can be. And that's really the lesson that I'm trying to teach. And I don't really think that you ever overcome fear so much, because it still comes into play. It does with me. I have no qualms sharing that with you. But you learn how to, if I want this bad enough, if I'm committed enough, if this is a priority, then I will figure out a way to make it happen. And I'm going to keep doing this until I'm successful. And so I'm not sure what that'll mean to you. I did a clip on the front end, and I'm going to try to get somebody to help me how to edit it, and maybe I can share the video clip from Instagram, from Jennifer's Instagram, and put it all together to kind of talk about, what real progress is, and why linear progress as a measure of your success is sometimes harmful. Many times it's a detriment, to chase a number versus chasing execution and perfecting your form and increasing your training capacity, things of that nature. And so hopefully I can put this all together, and maybe you'll glean something that will help you. Like when you're a little fearful in the gym, it's like, do I have the safety set right? Have I taken all the proper precautions? And if you've done those things, then why not give 100%? These people that say, I gave 110%, they're full of shit and they're lying, because there is nothing but above giving your absolute best, and that's 100%. So, questions or comments, please, by all means, share them. And, like yesterday, I spoke about a few things. Someone would ask a question, I would answer it, and that would spark new questions and take us down different pathways. And that's the thing I love about talking about training and strength sports and competing. So if you enjoy this and you want to talk about something, make a video of your own and ask me to comment on it, or send me a topic that you'd like to talk about. Send me a topic that you'd want for me to talk to other lifters in the gym, whether it be the girls or just teammates or anything of that nature. And I really appreciate the people that Mel had yesterday for having me, and for Matt at Pose Gym, who is a great buddy of mine. He and I go way back, and for him allowing us to host it there. And so hopefully we'll be doing more of that stuff in the future, and would love to get some of the Team Ogre folks involved as well. And just so we can help people find an avenue, create more ways to become successful. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Everybody have a great day.